Right, forgive the comedy voice I'm having to put on. I'm not been well last few days. But I saw this video go around on Twitter. And most people who've like commented on it, they just laughed. And I'm like, no, this is not, you can't laugh at this. This is really tragic. This is a disaster for somebody. It's like, politically, you know what I mean, from that standpoint, you think every view this person's got, as far as I'm concerned, is wrong, right? And they don't know what the world is. They got no idea what the world is. And this is despair. Even though this person's histrionic and it really doesn't take much to make them upset in the first place, easily triggered, it's like, it's not as if this suffering this person's gone through isn't like really real to them. And I thought people were really mean when they laughed at this. And it's like, I mean, I'm someone who, you know, I do counsel people, don't I? So I hear stories like this a lot. And I don't get emotionally engaged in other people's stories. But I'm like, wouldn't this be impossible to cope with? You know, if you were to try and help this person, if you were trying to help them, if you were to try, because it's like, you can point to things that this guy is struggling with. Do excuse me, I'm sorry. That, you know, not been properly trained, or isn't of the right temperament to be dealing with members of the general public, has got no sense of humour and is thin-skinned, hasn't been taught how to, you know, look out for people, can't look out for themselves. I'm out of action and I can't do this. See, when I say I'm dying, I fucking mean it. But let's put this video on, see how we get on. If my voice doesn't fail before the end, you'll get the point I'm trying to make. I don't think I have to worry about this person's copyright over this, so I don't have to worry about things like that.
People wonder why we need a union at Starbucks, and I am literally about to quit. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but, like, I really want to. I almost walked out today, and I'm crying in the back room right now, and I almost cried on the floor. It's just, I'm like a full-time student. I get scheduled for 25 hours a week, and on weekends, they schedule me the entire day, open to close. I'm on the schedule for 8.5 hours, both Saturday and Sunday. I'm, like, 3.5 hours into my shift. There's so many customers, and we have 4 people on the floor all day. Only 5 people were put on the schedule, and somebody had to call out. And there are 4 people running the whole store, and there's so many customers, and there's possibly scheduled 5 people. We only have 13 people employed at this store, and there's so many customers. And we don't have fair scheduling. Managers don't care about us. Our manager was supposed to come in this weekend, and he took himself off the schedule, so he wouldn't be able to be held accountable for calling out. He just literally tore down the schedule that he was scheduled on and put up a new schedule where he was on the schedule also.
No, so the tears dried real quick. Well, they say you get it as to where this is an emotional ruin. An emotional ruin. Okay, sir, can I just put something just gently? You're a part-time member of staff who's down for 25 hours a week, so you will work weekends. It's what you for, you part-time. Full-time people, they'll get scheduled during the week. You're part-time and you do 25 hours a week. You're going to be working the weekend. And it's the same in any retail job you'll ever work. If you're part-time, it means they've got you on to cover the weekend. There's no way around that, and a union won't change that. I'll just put it to you, young person. And as well as that, it appears that this person's just never been trained. I'm like, you work somewhere that's busy, right? I got taught something right early when I used to work, because I mean, this person's first job working at Starbucks. My first job facing the public was, I was a service receptionist at a main dealer car and motorcycle dealership, right? And it's a matter of, you learn when it's busy. You learn it's a matter of your best friend in the world when you're busy is the customers. Because if you have decent communications with them and you don't waste their time, if you're honest with them as to say, look, we're busy, this might take 10 minutes here, this might take 15. If they don't want to wait 15 minutes, they can leave. You've been right with them. And in being right with them, they'll come back. This person hasn't been taught the value of enthusiasm. This person has not been taught that generally, if you treat people well and you're forthcoming with them, they'll mirror that and they'll be good to you too. You'll get 1 in 1,000 customers in any kind of place that'll cause you a fucking problem. 1 in 1,000. And if you become experienced, they just become the funny stories that you tell in the pub. It's like, this person isn't cut out for retail. And there's no way of knowing if they are actually cut out for retail, because it doesn't appear that they've had any training. Now it's like, you look at this is despair. This person thinks they've been thrown in at the deep end and they're being treated unfairly. And it's like, well, if you haven't been trained to do the job and you can't handle yourself, maybe you would feel that way. Maybe that's how you'd feel. And then it's a matter of, is there anyone that this person could go to for help who'd actually listen to them? Be able to stand this. Be able to stand this. Because people don't know how to deal with a trans man anyway. They're exceptionally difficult to deal with because they're emotional. They're women. And it's like no one likes to see, this person has got like bum fluff, little moustache and beard, thinks, oh, that makes me a man. And it's like, if you were still a woman, no one would see you in this amount of distress. And they'd have the tools to help. But the tools aren't available because you wouldn't accept that kind of help, would you? You wouldn't say, well, it's a matter of women aren't as tough as guys at dealing with pressure. Some are, and they have different ways of coping with it. But I've worked with women for years in different places, and women getting upset and crying on the job, right? It's not a reflection on their ability, it's a reflection on how much pressure they can take. You don't hold it against them. I never have, but I've worked with women who burst into tears regular. And it's often they're tired. It's just the way they process stress. It don't really mean very much. But it's like, we as people were sort of biologically coded to come to the rescue of a young woman who's in like despair. What would you be if you didn't say, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? You look like you're having trouble. It's like this person needs a decent manager. But it's like, how do you approach this? And it's like, those who could help this person have been robbed of the tools by this person, have been able to help them. Like, who does this person turn to? Well, from where I'm sat, all this person can do is to turn to other members of the LGBTQ community. And you know what? You get re-victimised and abused by those people. It's like these guys are always complaining that they get a lot of abuse. And it's like you get a lot of abuse from your own community when they don't support you. When there's no such thing. When you find out, when you're in a moment like this where you've basically spilled your guts on the internet. Why do you spill your guts on the internet like this? Because you've got nobody. You've got nobody. This community you're all part of, this rainbow coalition, when push comes to shove, do not exist and you're on your own. And the bridge to the world that you would have had, you've destroyed it. Let's listen to the rest.
So he couldn't have even seen that he was scheduled in the first place because he didn't want to be held accountable for not wanting to come in. They don't want to help us. We need a union because this can't happen. This can't happen. We need fair scheduling. We need managers to hold themselves accountable for helping their workers. They refuse to turn mobile orders off. We need the liberty to be able to do that because there's so many mobile orders and I need to get through all of them, and then people are yelling at me because they don't have their orders ready and they don't know what to do. And a customer was
there's a big cut in it. Look at this. This blob.
they don't know what to do.
There's nothing funny about it, is there? Nothing funny about that. This person's in distress. But it's like, you're a trans man. What? How do we tackle this? Who can make this better? Who can help you? And the answer is, well, nobody. Because people who reach out and say, hey, maybe you need some help, maybe you need some additional support, maybe you need some extra training. Chip on shoulder, won't listen to a damn thing you have to say. But likely accuse you if you were to say, like, you know, you're a young woman and you're under a lot of pressure, you're under a lot of stress, you need some support. Throw it in your face. You're transphobic. Would turn the tables on you and turn it into a power struggle. So it's like, okay, you've guaranteed no one can help you. You've destroyed your bridge to the world. And the community that you believe yourself a part of, the big imaginary community, when it comes to the crunch, you're on your own, kid.
And a customer was misgendering me today, like, really badly. I didn't have their order ready. And so they were just, like, talking like each other. And they're like, she's clearly incompetent. I have a full mustache and beard.
No, you don't. You've got what we call bum fluff. If a guy was to turn out with that and call it a full beard and mustache, round here, the joke used to be, you don't need to get a razor. What you need is a cat. You need to get a brush and just brush some milk on your face and get the cat to lift your beard for you with its tongue. That's what we call bum fluff. And it just sits as is. The chance that this person could grow a beard like mine, and my beard isn't very impressive. Some people have got good beards, you know what I mean? Mine's a bit patchy. This person's never going to have that beard and moustache that they seem to think. Because I tell you what, you know what it takes to have a beard and moustache? Well, it takes about, I'd say, for it to come through evenly, it takes about 10 years of shaving, unless you've got some kind of genetic predilection to grow a lot of hair. Now, that's a weird old thing because this person's obviously on hormones. And it's like, hormones will like turn on your male genes. It's like if your father's got a beard like fucking Gandalf, maybe you'll actually grow a beard like Gandalf. And if your dad's bald, maybe you'll go bald too. Maybe you'll get male pattern baldness because you've put testosterone in you. It's like, this person's got no stones, no sand, balls. That stickability, that ability to pull yourself together, that surviving in the world as a male, you must have, or you'll just die. You know, you just kill yourself. You will die if you don't have the ability to stand up for yourself, pull it together, and certainly to actually do the job you're paid to do. And it's tragic, this. I feel sorry for this person. And do you know why I feel sorry for him? Well, I'm pretty good with people who've got problems like this, despair. I'm good with people like this. I couldn't help this person. Why? Well, we'd have to deal with the delusion that she is a man first. Because it's like, this one hasn't got what it takes to be one, but you think you're a man, and this is how you deal. So to me, it's like this is a desperate woman who needs help. But the woman, the help that any woman in the world could just ask for is not available to this person, and wouldn't accept it if it was. And it's sad, and it's tragic.
What the fuck? I don't get accommodations for being neurodivergent.
I don't get accommodations for being neurodivergent. So what's neurodivergent mean? It means that this person's probably got a diagnosed personality disorder, borderline bipolar, narcissistic, histrionic. Why is it when someone's trans like this, why is there always a big issue with cluster B comorbidity? And why are the two things not addressed as being the same problem? And the answer is, well, it doesn't suit them. They can't handle the gender dysphoria that's led them to like make life-changing decisions is actually part of their mental illness. It's a part of it. It's like a comorbidity. It's like if you find people who've got this set of personality disorder traits, so you can program and condition them to think that maybe you're one of these trans people, and then sell it to them as a miracle cure. The difference between this one and one of them who ends up just plastic surgery forever, tattoos forever, no difference whatsoever. This one just reached for a different miracle cure. It's sad. It's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. Normally, I wouldn't feel anything towards any sympathy at all towards this person. I'd be like, you're just pathetic. But I think, where's your help? Why have you found yourself in this position? Where's your help? Where is your bridge to the world? Reaches out to the LGBT community, be re-victimised and told things like, oh, well, the world just hates you. The world just hates you. They're all just transphobes. And what good does that do anyone? Neurodivergent. Divergent. Not getting any special treatment because I've got mental illnesses. It's like they've been hired because of some policy. You get it these days about neurodivergent people with mental illnesses, serious mental illnesses. They get affirmative action. They don't make very good employees. Not productive. And it's like, what kind of day must it be for the people who work with this girl? How must it be for them to rely on her as a team member? And how stressed does this person get? I mean, we're talking work here. She calls herself, I think she calls herself Evan. And finds herself, because she's playing the trans game and incompetent, the general folk end up going for the elephant in the room and really disrespecting her in ways that she wouldn't be disrespected if she had remained a woman and had kept better company and had better parenting and better support. To be, a girl who has trouble but manages and shows a bit of toughness. Bravery. But it's like when you flipped it, no, I'm a bloke. and then you break down like a girl. So who are you supposed to work with? Her. If you're the boss, how are you supposed to motivate that? It's like, it's a tragic, it's a sad, sad story.
I don't. Like, I can't use. Like, people get mad at me for using my sick time. I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm like at my wits' end with this job. I really am.
People are having a go for too much sick time. Oh, I'm so depressed. So it's one of them where it's black and white thinking, where some days wakes up, everything is great and I'm God. And then the next day they wake up, everything's shit, I want to kill myself, I can't stand to go to work. Like I say, if this was just a case of borderline teenager, bad enough, but not the end of the world. Right? Borderline trans man, I wouldn't even know where to start. See, in view of the fact I can't even talk, I felt the need to say something about this one. Can't even talk at the moment. I'm like, eh. And I felt the need to say something about this because it was so sad. Like, genuinely sad. The tears are real. This person may be as crazy as a box of frogs, but the tears are real. The despair's real. The anguish is real. The lack of training is due to the chip on the shoulder. She's saying her bosses are unaccountable, and that's because you're impossible to manage. So you've been avoided. And you can't handle the weight of the work and you think the customers have got it in for you. That's you being paranoid. I mean, it's a waste, isn't it? It's just a waste of everything. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of fucking oxygen. It's like, how's your life ended up so you found yourself in this place? And it's like, is that a question you want to hear? An answer, is that an answer you want to hear? Do you want to hear that story? And the answer would be, no, nobody wants to hear that story. So, where does this one go for help? Again, answers on a postcard.